on a farm like they used to have over by Essex, where they raise the pheasants and then turn them loose so they know they're going to get them. He spent $100 for each one of them to shoot a pheasant. He got 2 and Liam got 1. He spent $100 for it, but yet it's too cheap to take his daughter on something special. It's going to come back to bite him in the ass, Ronnie.
I didn't think pheasants was good to eat this time of year.
Rabbits, it's only a certain time of year. Pheasants, I don't know. Wild game like that, I really don't know anything because I don't understand it. Oh, hey, we're live. Guys, I'm just sitting here. I'm sitting here, guys. I did not know it went live. I apologize. I happened to look up and I seen we was at 1 minute already. I'm sorry. I was just sitting here talking around. You heard all about my son-in-law shooting pheasants and not wanting to do something else. I apologize. Please forgive me. Hi, everyone. I even was sending a message and Ron said something. I forgot to send it. I wanted to tell everyone, hi, I was 3 minutes early, I thought, because it's now 7:01. So I apologize, everyone. Everyone, I really don't know where to start. So I'm going to start by playing the music and doing the Pledge of Allegiance. Talk to the kids briefly. Kids, it's going to be a talk just like it's been the last couple of times where I'm just going to mention your names and move on. We have a lot of information tonight. I was sent something that got me very excited, very, very excited. I seen some other things, and we have a lot of information. Is it true? We don't know, but at least it's information that makes you feel good. Janet and Jeffrey and Papa G and Bill Woods, Elaine and Maria, welcome everyone. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry, but I'll be back in a few minutes. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, where the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. God bless the USA.
It's one of those nights, everyone. We got our song cut short. For some reason, someone decided to call me. I don't know who it was. I didn't answer. Good to see you, Moonchild and Karen. I think I've got everybody. So, Super Jimmy, Patriot 11. Hold on. Hello. Thomas, no, I'm not talking to you, Thomas. The last time I talked to one of you people, you got my account shut down, so just forget it. Oh my God, scammers everywhere. That was Google calling me again to scam me again. What is wrong with these people? Anyway, we was at Karate Kid and Patriot Wyatt Earp, Patriot Princess, our little queen, and her brother Hunter. You know what? I'm going to say her brother Hunter and Patriot Princess. I always give her the ringing bell, but they do say ladies before gentlemen. I don't understand that, because if God made man first, why is it ladies before gentlemen? as Janet and Maria and all Karen is all here going, why did he say? I'm just joking, guys. Patriot Boogs, Boogaloo, Boogaroo, and Boogie, along with little Leona and Patriot little Leilon, Patriot Cutie Pie, and Patriot 17, the two kids from the Ukraine. Then I have my grandkids. Patriot Super Gymnast, who I will talk a little extra about. She's been doing this, I don't know, round off, back, something, flip, whatever. And she's been missing it by about this much for about 2 weeks. And on her way home from gymnastics tonight, she gave me a call and she said, Papa, I did it. And I said, I knew you would. I had all the confidence in the world in you. Why wouldn't you do it? I knew she would do it. You guys you guys used to know she's a moderator here. She's your guys' friends. Patriot 7, who started baseball practice. He's a good ball player, but he's getting what's known as one of these, you know what I mean? Big head. He's a great kid, but he's getting something there. Patriot little gymnast. I got to spend the yesterday afternoon with her, and it was like old times. She looked at me, even made the statement, "Hi, Robert." She made the statement, "Grandpa, this is like when we used to be together, going to the park." Patriot Small Hank, who is on his way to Indiana right now as we speak for a karate exhibition where he's in a competition, and Patriot little Kira. Now, it's not fair that I actually talked about my grandkids, but see, this is all about safety of children. Because I was talking to a lady today, and she says, "Hey, can you donate $2,000 for this lady whose son has cancer, and we're trying to raise money?" I said, "I don't have it." And she got mad at me. And I says, "Do you want me to take a photocopy of my bank account and I'll show you I don't have it?" And I said, "But you know what? I don't need to explain anything to you, because there's no one that loves children more than I do." Patriot Boogs. And you know, Patriot Hunter, as I go through this, and I'm thinking, I'm trying to explain to this lady, get this child's name and his address. He has cancer as a 10-year-old. He's not really deep into the cancer. They're trying to catch it early. So he's in no really jeopardy yet. And the information I'm going to share with you tonight, I wanting to share with this lady that's talking to me like this. And I'm telling her, get their name and address. Before the 4th of July, this young man will be cancer-free. But all she wanted to do was talk about money. And this is someone I liked. This is someone I thought was a nice person. Needless to say, we're not talking no more, because I wouldn't give money. Now, let me ask you, Janet and Robert and Jeffrey and John, if someone's on the phone and you think you know them, and all of a sudden it's all about money, can you give? And you can't, kids, what does that sound like to you? To me, it sounds like a scam. And it's the same thing. I just got a phone call. You guys heard me get a phone call, kids. If you're watching it, kids, and everybody else over here, Bill Woods and that. But you know, especially little Leona and little Elon, who don't understand. maybe Patriot Super Gymnast or Patriot 11 or Little Jimmy. You're watching this and you hear the phone ring. I took it away the first time, but it took our song away. So instead of replaying the song, I just moved on. But with that being said, why does people think it doesn't matter what time? Why when my account with Gmail is completely fixed, I completely got it taken care of. I got the email from Gmail staff itself saying it's taken care of. Why would they call me not once but twice on Friday night to tell me that they're trying to change my number again? Well, you know what? I put in my report, do not change my number. I don't want it changed. Scamming all the time. It's terrible, kids. The reason us patriots are sitting here tonight, the reason people are giving up their Friday night to listen to some dorkball like me talk is because we believe in making your country better. And kids, I want to tell you a story. I had a talk today with my son. I'd like to give you his name as Patriot Brandon, but he would not go by a Patriot name because he's a guy with money. And I love him with all my heart. But I'd rather have health than money. At least with health, you can live. And I was telling him about a friend of mine, kids. I was telling him about this friend of mine named Cornell Grant that I met the other day in the store. I hadn't seen him for several years. We worked together for 20-some years. And I told him how Cornell's going to be 71 years old this year. He said, I remember him. He went to all the White Sox games, all the Illinois games and out with us. He's a nice guy. And I said, yeah. And I said, he asked me, why do I feel so old just getting ready to turn 71? I said, oh, no, because I know you read the Bible. And he said, yes, I believe in God and Jesus Christ. And kids, we and him had a talk. And we get talking and talking and talking. And I said, why in the Bible did people live to be 800 and 900 years old? And I said the same thing to my son today. And he goes, did they, Dad? And I said, oh, now you're doubting the Bible? I mean, it's bad enough you doubt the Patriots, but now you're doubting the Bible? Wasn't one of my most memorable moments with this particular young man. And Ron's sitting there smiling because he knows what's going on. And I told him about these special beds, and I said, you know, these special beds can make us allow. And I told Cornell about these, and me and him researched them. And we're standing in the middle of Walmart talking. People are going by. What's this white man, this black man standing there talking for? Yeah, I was the white man. Just wanted to clarify it for you guys. What are you guys standing there talking? We talked for almost an hour. Anybody knows me when I go to town, I don't talk to anybody for that long because I got a little dog that's 15 years old and I don't like to leave her that long. So to me, Nita W, John, for me to go in, Tony, and all you kids, for me to go in and talk to someone like that, it had to be a special occasion, and it was. And I'm trying to talk to my son today about this. And he told me, he said, Dad, all I'm asking is you don't give up on everything else. And I said, what do you mean? He said, well, some people get involved with these beds or they get involved in this patriot movement. I said, yeah. And that's all they'll think about. That's all. They'll spend their money doing all this. And I said, I don't spend no money on patriot movement. I don't accept none. I don't spend none. He says, you bought all of that currency. I said, that has nothing to do with the patriot movement. I bought all of that currency, most of it, before I got involved in these shows. And we're going to talk about that real soon. Stay tuned, sports fans. We have some good news. I think it is anyway. I got so excited. I remember I was as a tossler, kids. Kids, have you ever detasseled corn? Have you ever detasseled corn? It's the greatest job in the world.
It ain't bad.
What's that?
It ain't bad.
It's the greatest. It was my favorite job ever. And I worked in a great factory with both of my brothers. But man, you get out there in the morning and it's cold in the morning. You know, them cold, you know, when it's only 75 degrees out in the morning and it's wet in August. And then all of a sudden that sun comes out and you're dripping wet from all that wet corn, kids. And all of a sudden that sun comes out. And by the time you get to the end of the row of picking the tassels off of that corn, man, you just got to get your water jug. You just got to get a drink. But it was the memories, and there's these memories that there's these girls in there. You know, it's just something that kids could. You know, and I ask you this to know because they don't tassel corn anymore. They don't walk beans anymore. They don't bale hay hardly anymore. They roll them up in these big things with these big machines. All the jobs that we had with kids. You know, one of the jobs kids I had when I was a kid, there was 2 places in town that had chickens in them, the hatcheries. Hundreds of chickens, and I would go down there and I would help this man take care of these chickens. And you know what he paid me? As many eggs as I could take home every day. He didn't want them. There was another hatchery over in Herscher, and they had a place in a farm just past Buckingham out in the country. And when eggs wouldn't hatch, or when a chicken was born, but it wasn't up to the standards to sell to the stores, this place would take these eggs and just throw out along this part of the road in their field. And then that hot August and July sun would hatch these eggs. And you have these little bitty chickens. And me and Ron and my brother Russ, my dad would go with these containers and we'd go out and we'd catch as many. That's how we had chickens. That's how we raised chickens. Did you guys ever do that? You might have played a game on the internet. I had another lady look at me every day and say, can you give me $20 for my nephew so I can get him a game card? I said, no. And she said, why not? It's only $20. I said, because I don't even give my grandkids $20 for a game card. You know what? You want your nephew to have a game? Send him outside to play. Let him go outside and just play in the dirt. Let him pick his nose. Do whatever. Let him be kids. I didn't say. Now, when I said pick his nose, Ron went, ew. I didn't say nothing about anything else. I just said pick his nose. It was him the one that got the raunchy idea. See, what I'm trying to tell you kids is just have fun. Man, I was talking to my 3 grandkids yesterday. Patriot gymnast, super gymnast now that she got this move down. I was talking to Patriot 7 and little gymnast. Man, they don't have hardly any time left of school. The few days left this month. By the time they go back to school, today's the 10th, 11th, 12th, they'll go back on the 13th through the 18th, 21st through the 26th. Then they're into the new month by the time they finish the next week. And they're out of school on the 28th. But they have a long weekend in there because of Memorial Day. Where did the year go? Kids, just make it a point to get out and play. This concludes tonight's version of the kids. It was different, but if I stay the same all the time, it's not no fun for me. I look over here, and Larry's here now, and Robert's still here, and a lot of people still here that actually someone just finished. Larry just finished his 1099s. I don't do that no more. I don't have no money coming in, so why should I give any going out? But I do have a story, everybody. Anyway, kids, this video is not made for you. If you watch it, it's under the permission of your parents, grandparents, or legal guardians. And the music we attempted to play tonight, we have no legal rights to. So we play it because we like it, and it's kind of become our theme song. So I've covered my butt on everything. But I want to tell you a story about that yesterday. By the time I got over to pick my grandkids up, I was real low on gas. I get over into the Clifton area, and I said, oh, we better go before we get Dairy Queens, we better go get some gas. And the gas station is right there at the same place as the Dairy Queen. So I pulled in, and I take my card out that I got hooked into my debit card or my bank account. I swipe it, and I get an extra nickel off. I put $60 of gas in, guys. I put $60 of gas in my car, and it just barely took it over 3/4 of a tank. In order to fill my car up, it would have cost me at least $80 to $85. I'm telling my son-in-law, the 3 kids his dad shot this last night. He said, yeah, let me tell you something. My truck was low the other day, and I took my truck and I filled it up. And it cost me $97 to fill up. And I said, what? And he said, yeah. Can you imagine $97? And I looked at him and I said, I wouldn't care. He said, what do you mean you wouldn't care? I said, because you get your gas free through the company. You use the company's credit card. So what does it matter to you? What does it matter to you if you're paying 97? But then I'm telling you, what's amazing is I'm watching a video on TikTok yesterday and I see DJT on there. And he says, I am so proud of the United States. I am so proud that we have our gas down to under $2 a gallon in all the states. And I'm thinking, Ron told me that I need to come up with a video with a song, Daydream Believer with the Monkees. And that's what you have to do when you talk about this man right now. Because right now, for him to think that gas is under $2 a gallon, who would drop 40 cents in where? In New York? What's it down to? About $6 a gallon now? Price dropped 49 cents here too. Wow. Because price went up in Illinois.
Yeah, we got Fritzer.
Huh?
We got Fritzer.
Yeah, we got a guy that's telling everybody that prices are down. Ralph, I worked around 230 hours last year, and I placed a retirement home and fixed taxes. Yeah, but the way I look at it, and then Bill, you got to do what you got to do, and keep yourself safe. If you feel you need to pay the taxes, if you feel you need to file, please do so. I know there's a lot of shows telling people, don't do it. There is no IRS no more. Don't do it. But you know what? Until it's officially brought out there, why do you want to take a chance? But I will say this, if you get a call from them, ignore it. There's so many people out there trying to do something. 378 in Long Island. 15 cents a gallon off because I had this special card for my gas yesterday, 406, with 15 cents off. If I don't have it, I pay $4.21. So I know what it is. He's saying it's under $2. He's thinking I got 2 gas tanks. That's stupid to say, but no, it is what it is. And your wife says you will go to prison if you don't file. Now you won't.
Yeah, you will.
I'll tell you a story about the IRS. When I retired from Cool Battery, I took my pension. And I took my 401k because I had to get it out of there and the money in my hands so I could hide it so my ex-wife wouldn't find it. Because she had a way of finding my money, and all of a sudden it became hers because that's how it was in that day. So I took it. And when I took it, they said that I had to pay taxes. Now, wait a minute. I paid taxes on that money all the while I was doing it, and I never claimed it. So why did I have to pay taxes? They told me I had to pay like $6,000 taxes. I never paid it. And I never paid it. And one day I get a message that they're going to start taking it out of my Social Security. And they did one time. And I called Social Security and I said, how did you allow that? And they said, they can't do it. And I said, they did. And I showed them a photocopy of my bank statement where they took it out. Social Security got a hold of them and they took care of everything. And I got it reimbursed the next month. And I told them I'll pay them when I get it. I'll do the best I can. And I did. I did the best I could. Because, guys, I'm going to tell you, as God is my witness, every month when I was supposed to make some kind of a payment, I thought about doing it. Some months I would think a little more than the other month, but I never did. And it kept going and going and going. I was 48 years old when that happened. When I hit 58 years old, I went and got drunk. Because, see, once you get through the Social Security like that, once you get through the owing them money and they don't collect within 10 years, they cannot come after you. So I walked away. Sometimes their bark is worse than their bite. And I'm not telling you guys to not pay Mike Davis or John or Bill or Larry or Papa G or David or anybody who's think they need to pay. Do what you got to do. Keep yourself safe, because the whole thing is you don't want to get yourself in any trouble now, not what is about to happen. And we're in for some really, really good things.
You're going to get it back anyway.
And just remember, when you pay, send it in, when you pay, as Ron says, you're just going to get everything back. So what does it matter? It is what it is. And no, we're not Popeye the Sailor Man. But anyway, I just wanted to share a few stories with you about that and some other things. And last night, Mary Ann and myself, I give thanks to Mary Ann every Tuesday and Thursday because she literally goes on at 8 o'clock and listens to the small call. And he was announcing some things last night that even on this show we've been announcing. I had someone come say to me that I shouldn't say the things I do. And I say, why? Because I don't accept money. Because I won't do something that's wrong. And, it is what it is. And I've told you guys on many occasions, I never would accept money. But when I first started this show here and we went to 36,000 followers and I was getting contacted, hey, we can get you to 100,000 or more. All you have to do is play the ads. I thought I had to play the ads during the show. Like I'm talking, all of a sudden they break in for 5 or 10 seconds. They come back and I wouldn't do that. I didn't realize it was after the show was over and it was posted that's how they was going to do it. And on an hour show, they would have played like 4 or 5 ads. People would have had to watch and we could have made, I could have been making money. They was going to show me how to put them on other social sites where I could have made money and I could have been make money to help you guys. And I wish I could turn back the clock and do it because there's so many people that need help. I don't wish I could turn back the clock to help myself, but it would be nice. But I kind of like the fact that we've endured this for over 5 years, 6 years. I'm happy at the fact that we've did this and we haven't taken anything. What do you think about that, Mike Davis? Papa G? We did it there. How is it Frank Sinatra said? We did it our way. We did not surrender. We did not give in and we did not comply. Everybody's sending bull crap there, John. So let's see what we got for tonight. We do have something in the first article I want to read is, it got me very excited. I don't know if I'm going to do that one first. Here's a little one from Patriot Savior that she sent me over from, it's on X. This is from MAJEED-KSA. Now you've got the U.S. working on removing sanctions from Venezuela's central bank, which will cause the currency to go to Forex. Also, J.D. Vance made an announcement 2 days ago. I don't know what the announcements was. I don't know what they had to say, but it just seems like a pretty good idea that we're working with Venezuela to get all this stuff taken care of. But, Venezuela does have the same president as us.
Ozzie Guillen told us.
Because Ozzie Guillen, the manager of the 2005 Chicago White Sox World Series team, told us. Here's something else that was sent over. Let me read it real quick. Paul White, Gold Eagle. Breaking. Human TRAFFICKING ends now. We have saved the children. The long-awaited victory has arrived. After years of hidden battles in the shadows, the global network of human TRAFFICKING has been dismantled. The innocent have been rescued. The children are safe. In a powerful moment, we witness the dawn of a new era. The forces of darkness are preyed upon. The vulnerable are failing. What was once concealed is now brought into light. The new world activation is approaching. Stay vigilant. As the storm gathers and the lightning illuminates. The path towards a greater awakening unfolds. This is not the end of evil. This is just the end of an evil empire. It is the beginning of the world where justice, protection, and freedom for the innocent become an unbreakable foundation. The image before you captures this historic turning point, a solemn guardian standing firm, shielding the future in the American flag as the heavens themselves declare the shift with the thunder of the red alert urgency. Key facts and messages. Human TRAFFICKING operations have been systematically shut down worldwide. Thousands of children and victims have been liberated from captivity. The fight was never just political. It was a morale battle for the soul of humanity. The New World activation signals a major global reset towards transparency, accountability, and protection of the most vulnerable. This is a call to remain watchful, united, and ready. As the old system crumbles, the new safeguards rise. Share this if you stand for the children. Share this if you believe it's finally prevailing. Share this if you are ready for a new chapter. The storm is here, but so is the victory. Stay strong. Stay aware. The children are safe. Wake up. It also, right after that, has a picture of DJT holding a baby wrapped in an American flag. Guys, right there, what I just read. Don't forget what I talked about the kids. Forget what I said about the other stuff, the laughter, the joking. Forget about the fact that we was on for almost a minute and a half and I didn't even realize we was on. The fact that we didn't get to play our song tonight because someone tried to scam me. If that right there doesn't make your heart pure and make your weekend, wow, I don't know what can, but we got more good news. Bill Woods and Jeffrey and Kevin and David, Mike, Elaine. Where did Janet go? Larry Smith, Cindy. All of you people who come here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday night. If what I just read there, Cindy, did you hear what I just read? If not, let me know. I will send it over to you. You might have read it already because Savior is the one who sent it over to me. When I started to do this show tonight, guys, I didn't even know a thing about that. But I tell you, I got pumped up, and I got pumped up about something else. But I'm going to save this something else for a little while because here's another article that I want to read. It's about 10 Days of Darkness from David Nino Rodriguez and Carrie Cassidy drop bombs 3/14/26. This whole DAM SH blank TS storm is coming. In an explosive discussion on March 14th, 2026, David Nino Rodriguez hosted Carrie Cassidy unleashing truths that shatter the veil of deception. Cassidy revealed that Iran conflict as an extraterrestrial war over ancient stargates in the Iranian mountains portals controlled by malevolent ET forces to invade Earth. These stargates allow beings like the Anunnaki and reptilians to enter, enslaving humanity. The White Hats, led by TRUMP and Space Force, are battling to seize control, ensuring freedom for all patriots. Cassidy exposed proxy wars with CHINA through Venezuela, Cuba, and Iran, designed to cripple their oil supplies and missile threats. Project Camelot. Sources confirm this is a prelude to World War WWW3, and planned clash foretold in prophecies, but orchestrated by ET overloads. Yet the tide turns. Russia secretly aligns with the U.S. and Putin and TRUMP forced back channel alliance against the cabal. Patriots, this is the storm. Deep state pumped by reptilian ETS from Draco through CERNS wormholes harvest humans and slaves, especially the innocent. But white hats have infiltrated CERN, shutting down these invasions routes in a covert operation last month. The Iraq invasion targeted stargates, no nukes. Saddam opened portals to ANNUNNAKI hordes, reincarnating ancient tyrants. Now, Iran's MULLAHS reptilian hybrids torturing the divine feminine face regime change. Young tech savvy revolutionaries call on America for aid, igniting a Middle East renaissance. Democrats protesting war ignores horror. Women enslaved. Societies regress. QAnons know this liberates the divine feminine, restoring balance against BAPHOMETS and Dragoness. Agenda pushed by elites like OBAMAS. Humanity history is a lie. The Bible conceals ET invasions. ANNUNAKI reconfigured DNA imposing frequency fences to shorten lives and control minds. From Lyra origins, invasions persist. White hats ally with benevolent inner earth races and VENUSIAN contacts like Melania Trump's, the banking system, Basel families as ET middlemen crumbles under NESARA/GESARA activation imminent by April. Patriots rise. The St. Germain Trust trillions funds the reset crushing fiat empires. Vatican secrets unravel. Reptilian underground layers fuel blood sacrifices their architecture, screaming serpent symbols. Israel blue bloods carry extra reptilian DNA, birthing Illuminati kingship symbols, mind controls masses, but awakening shatters them. Agenda 2030 falters. White hats delay depopulation schemes. Spiders begin ally with China. Mid controlling borders, but troops train against grays and hybrids. The Cuban Missile Crisis was an ET standoff. Now Antarctica's portals activate, drawing forces. Disclosures accelerates. TRUMP intercepts Vatican-controlled narratives, exposing Stephen GRER as reptilian stooge, peddling all ET goods, lies, leaving humanitarian vulnerable. The Big V series warned of false saviors. ANNUNAKI ships approach for depopulation, yet militaries equipped with tech to see and fight invisible foes, closing portals without nukes thanks to PLEID, IAN, and Paradise fires. ET invasions covered up. QAnons, this is biblical. This great awakening, white hats battle, AI/run, reptilians, BORG overlords, threatening galaxies, educate or perish, and pray. TRUMP declares victory over Iran, fleets next, global liberations, the storm surges, patriots unite against the cabal's final gasp, victory of the light seals down their freeing humanity forever. That says a lot. What do you think, Bill Woods? What do you think, Johnny Home 807, or Kevin, David, Papa G, Tony? Where did my Janet go? I haven't seen her. Did she get called away, Kevin? She'll be back. She's always there for me. Guys, I think I got worn out. I really think I got worn out trying to read that. If you go back to my very first video, I told you I don't like to read, but I do my best. The next thing I'm going to read, guys, is from a guy that I have had my differences with. But if he gives us something, I don't know how he was able to do this because he's on his 33rd or 34th. What's that thing called, Ron, where you have to, where you can't talk?
NDA.
He's on his 34th or 35th NDA. But he decided to talk today, and here's what he says. President TRUMP has now given the green light for the RV to start by declaring the world's greatest reset. This coming week, our lives will change, and we humanitarians are going to start helping the world. Protocols are already in motion to get this started. If you haven't got currency or any of these assets, then I urge you to acquire some ASAP. From our end, we still have the Yellow Dragon notes, and once this starts, they will never be available again. If you want to acquire some, here is the email to get. They give the email. Once the notification gets released, it is party time as we have a live show hosted by Peter Walker, and the opera will be released. God bless Wolverine. When I got this, I was talking to a friend of mine online, and I got so excited, and I read it, and they got excited, and it was just one of these things. I couldn't wait to come down here.
You try to sell them bonds, though.
I couldn't wait to come down here. I couldn't wait to do something, and then I looked, and I looked, and I looked, and I said, holy crap. I did not say that. I said something that was an it. And I said, holy crap. He got me excited. He got me really, really ready to rock and roll. And what was the whole thing about? He still has an abundance of these bonds.
Let's hope they work.
And he wanted to sell them. What's that?
Let's hope they pay out.
And I'm praying that they pay like he thinks they're going to. Because me and Ron have 240 of them. And I don't say that to brag, because if they pay out like that, I can tell you right now, there's not one person that's in this chat right now that will not be taken care of. Because you can only have so much money, guys. I was talking to Ron earlier today, and I was talking to some people, and they said something to me about going out and having a beer, going out and doing some things. I was talking to my brother Russ Easter Sunday, and he said, we go to the casino once a month, and if we lose 100, if we lose 200, if we lose $300, so what? It's only money. And I looked at him and I said, yeah. And you've been doing this for how long, Russ? And he told me. And I said, me and Ron give up that. We give up going to the casinos. We give up going out to drink. We give up going to fast food restaurants. And we put our money in foreign currency. And when it happens, when it comes in, you're going to wonder why you just decided to go to a casino. It doesn't matter. But the whole thing is, come back to when I was talking to Cornell Grant in that store. It doesn't matter how much money we get. Yes, David, Larry, Golden Arrow. I haven't seen you on for a while. I've been missing you. If you haven't been on for a while and you're back, welcome back. It's great to see you here tonight. Hi to you, Golden Arrow. It really just, you made my night because I have not seen you on for a while. Thank you for coming on. But anyway, it doesn't matter how much money we get. And yes, I agree with one point. We are so close. If you guys, anybody here, and I am not a financial advisor. If I am not a financial advisor, but anybody here who has an extra $100 or $150, I would strongly suggest you either go online, and when you go online, you can go there, Amazon, and just Google Amazon and say you would like to know the price of the golden bonds that he talked about. What did he call them? Hold on a second. Yellow Dragon bonds. The Yellow Dragon bonds. I say go there. Check it out. They're not expensive, and people's wanting to get rid of them. If they work, they work. But don't spend a lot of money. I won't spend over $25 or $30. You could maybe get 10 of them for that. You maybe get them cheaper. I'll get there. I'd also suggest that you go Banknote World, 100trillions.com, or right there where I just told you, and maybe look about getting a few dongs. Maybe get some Bolivar. If you've got an extra $100, $150. If you don't do it. Guys, I am not a financial advisor. I'm giving you what I believe we are right on the verge of. You're all going to become multimillionaires. Every person in here, Bill Woods, Devin Duffy, Kevin, Papa G, you're all going to be millionaires. You were a millionaire the day you was born. They just didn't let you have it. We're all going to live. We're going to come to a point in this world where money is not going to matter. You're going to go to the store. You're going to get what you want. You're going to walk out and you're going to just say, hey, have a good day. And they're going to go stock the shelves because we have to have workers. We have to provide with people the needs that we need to keep living. So I am not a financial advisor, but I do agree with that. But as I read that, as excited as I got, because if President the Hat has done what he says, then we're right on the verge. And listening to Bruce on the big call last night, the only thing I got out of it, not one, not two, but three different main people told him Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. One of them even said he guarantees it. The other two said they're 90-some% sure. People, it has to happen soon. The Hat wants to have the largest celebration in the world on July 4th, but not just here. He wants to have it every place in the world. Can you imagine the Ukraine and Russia 8 hours ahead of us? But maybe even though they're 5,000 miles apart, they'll have such fireworks shows that people will record them and they'll post them on YouTube and sites like that. And we can watch fireworks show starting 8 hours before our 4th of July starts. And then you move to other countries. What about Australia, who's almost a day ahead of us in that? And they start there. And we can literally start midway through the 3rd in here in our country, and there'll be fireworks show fired all over the thing. And then we end it. We end it with the bash with California and the countries that are the places that are, hours behind us in the central, the people in the eastern. And man, all of a sudden, from dark in the United States in every area, there's nothing but fireworks everywhere. And if you're close, you'll see them. It doesn't matter. You can drive 2 miles and there'll be fireworks. You can drive 2 more miles and there'll be fireworks, because this is what our Hat wants us to happen. This is, Cindy, what he wants to make happen. Nita W., this is what he wants. He wants the greatest celebration. I would also suggest, if you have a couple bucks, find you a place where they make the 250th celebration hat. Find you a place where you can get a 250th shirt. We're coming into the greatest time in our life. Don't you think we deserve it? I do. What do you think, Cindy, John? What do you think, Papa G? Papa G, give me an answer. What do you think? You think it's time? But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the celebration. It doesn't matter the money. Nothing of that matters if we don't have our health. If we don't have our health, David Duffy. Hey, there's my sweetie. There's Janet. I was worried about you, sweetheart. Take care of everyone that's sick, Lord. Please do that. Thank you, Janet. I can always count on her. And guys, I might seem like tonight that Janet is my favorite. All of yous are my favorite. It's just that Janet protects me the way she does. XRP is only 136. Yes, XRP is 136. It got down to 117, but 136. $13.60 for 10. Less than $30 for 20. So 25 is going to cost you what, $30? If you got it, go get you 25 of them. They're saying XRP is going to go higher than Bitcoin. If it does, it does. If it doesn't, you lost $25. And I am not a financial advisor. I'm reading what Cindy put up here, 136. Just go on social media and wonder why XRP is down. It's down, guys, because the rats are fighting everything. The rats will not let anything go. Man, what is that fly? There we go. I got it. There was a fly right in front of my camera. Did you guys see it up there at the top of the screen? But I have something I want to say here. And this is something, it's a video that I love. I see it on TikTok all the time. And the video goes, so let me get this straight. Janet, Cindy, Nita, Jeffrey, John, David, Papa G, let me get this straight. The Democrats, they love Sleepy, who hated our country. They loved Obi, who hated our country. They loved all of those who hated our country, who hated the people, who wanted to depopularize our civilization. And they love these people. They think they're the greatest people in the world. But these same people hate the man that loves his country, that give up everything for his country. He's the only president in the history who has lost money while being the president. He is the only president that doesn't take a salary. The rest of them, they don't take, they took their salary, but you know what? You know what, Janet? Their salary wasn't enough. So they'd say, ring, 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 ring. Hello. Hey, yeah, what are you doing today? Oh, nothing much. Maybe playing a little golf, maybe going out and having a couple beers with the friends. Really not much going on here. Why? What do you need, President? Well, I'm really liking to ask you here, if you could run me about $2 billion. I'm feeling a little bit low today. If you can run me that, then I can put it in some offshore account and I can be real rich and buy my own island. And they love them people. But a man who does ring, ring, hey, what are you doing today? Hey, I'm shutting you down. You're never going to run another fiat dollar in your life. They hate. Why is it people hate people who love our country? Why is it these people decide they want to go out? If he is my president, I'm leaving America, but they don't leave. Why don't they leave? Leave, please leave. They're a pain in my rectum. What do you think, Mike Davis? No, Cindy is in California, Mike. Unless she moved. This is true, Kevin, but they're changing. I asked my bank lady the other day when I got in trouble with my debit card. Someone tried to scam me. And I asked my bank lady a few questions. I said, hey, you used to be the State Bank of Herscher for so long. Now you changed names. Oh, we're still the State Bank of Herscher, but we had to go to a bigger bank because we had to make some changes. I said, what changes? And he said, well, what do you mean? I said, well, you've worked here for 20 years. You should know the changes. And he said, yeah, well. I said, what changes did you make? We have to offer things more. We have to do different things differently. And I said, well, are you Basel III compliant? She looks at me like, what? And I said, are you Basel III compliant? She said, what's that? As she smiled and blinked. And I said, okay, you answered me. Are you Basel III compliant? What's that? They had to go to a bigger bank and get a bigger group of people so they could do it. But they wanted to stay working because, see, it's just a farmer's bank. It's a bank that just small town people go to. But they treat you right. And you know what? They don't let people scam you on your debit cards. They take very good care of you. They watch over you. So some banks still, they're moving forward. A lot of them are. We're getting rid of a lot of the bankers like Mr. Drysdale from Beverly Hillbillies, that all it was about was money, money, money. We're moving into an era where it's about taking care of what needs to be taken care of. Why? Because the hat is doing it. I'm pretty sure real quick you're going to see a bombshell drop on mainstream media news. Does it not make you sick when you see this commercial come on? Hey, if you're having trouble with the IRS and you owe $10,000 or more, you come to us, you pay us a small fee, and we can. I only paid of $32,000 I owed. I only paid $3,200. Oh, I'm so happy I went with them. Well, who are you paying it to? Because it doesn't even exist. And I even called the people. They give the number, and one day I called them. They said, well, sir, who are you? And I told them a fictitious name. They said, well, sir, what is your problem? I says, well, I'm like $30,000 into that 3-letter digit company. Well, sir, we can help you that. I said, what do you need? I told them information. I've told them false information, false social security number, false name, false phone number. And they said, sir, we can help you for a small fee. Up front, you got to pay us $2,000 and we can make sure that $30,000 disappears. You might have to pay $3,000 or $4,000, but we'll guarantee you what you pay us and what you pay them. It won't be over $6,000 or $7,000. Do we have a deal? And I said, and who are you going to contact? And they said, we're going to contact the IRS where it's at. And I said, ooh, are you Houdini? And I go, what do you mean are we Houdini? And I said, well, it doesn't exist. If it doesn't exist, how are you going to contact them? But yet, our loving president allow. I ain't saying that you can't run commercials. I ain't saying that you can't run false ads. But something like that, come on. John, first one I bought was 15. I think I got one more thing to go over, and then we're going to call it a week. Cubbies lost again today. That's good news. The hat said the results of talks with IRAN will be clear in about 24 hours. We are going to know soon. The hat added, we have a reset going. We are loading up the ships with the best ammunition, even at a higher level than what we used to do to complete what they're going to complete. Guys, if you did not read Restored Republic yesterday, go in and Google it and get it. It was so good that last night I used my old phone to read off of, and I used voice activation, and I sent the whole thing. I read the whole thing in a letter form and sent to Julia.
Just put in Dinar Chronicles.
Okay, Ron says put in Dinar Chronicles. Restored Republic, Dinar Chronicles. And the date you want, which would have been yesterday, the 9th. This is from Judy Bidington. The global financial landscape is reportedly undergoing a seismic shift, according to the latest Restored Republic via the GCR report compiled with journalist and author Judy Bidington. As of April 10, 2026, the report outlines a series of monumental changes aimed at dismantling the traditional fiat debt system and replacing with gold-backed quantum financial system. The transition marks why many theorists and followers describe the end of the financial S blank 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 Y and the birth of the sovereign, transparent economic world order. According to the report, the new global quantum financial system became fully operational across 209 nations on Monday, April 6, 2026. The system signifies a departure from central bank control, effectively restoring financial sovereignty to U.S. Treasury. The report highlights that this transition eliminates income taxes and replaces them with a streamlined system as a fair sales tax on new items with no tariffs. This overall is designed to put back financial power back into the hands of the people, ending the era of the cabal-controlled fiat currency. A pivotal moment in the transition occurred on Tuesday, April 7th, when banks briefly went dark to raise old debt and transitions to new protocols. Central to this change is the adoption of the iOS 222 format that for all financial messages, while the SWIFT system has historically dominated international transfers, the report suggests that has been superseded by the new standard, which affects over 11,000 banks and trillions of dollars in daily transactions. This move to decentralized metal back systems is reportedly causing the steady collapse of traditional central banking structures worldwide. At the heart of Biden's update is an activation of NES. Well, it's the National Economic Security and Reform Act and the Global Economic Security and Reform Act. These acts are described as framework for global stability and individual sovereignty. Under these guidelines, each country maintains its own independence and issues its own currency backed by precious metals, contrary to fears of a completely cashless society. The report clarifies that physical currency will remain, but it will be tethered to tangible assets rather than arbitrary debt. This leveling of the playing field is expected to bring unprecedented fairness to world trade markets. Perhaps the most striking aspect of the report is a mention of the great wealth transfer. Over $106 billion is said to be in circulation for payments to citizens accessible through quantum phones, Q phones configured for the QFS. This process is part of Tier 4B protocol, which involves the Internet group of currency holders. The report urges individuals to configure their devices and prepare for wealth funds that are now reportedly accessible, claiming that while the green light has been given, many of the general public will only hear about this shift after it is fully integrated. For those holding currencies like the Iraq dinar, the Vietnamese dong, Zim bonds, the report provides specific instructions regarding the redemption process. It emphasizes the importance of using official redemption centers, RC, rather than the traditional banks. According to Biden, Wells Fargo, reportedly overseen by Chinese elders, will lead the notification process via email. The redemption centers are touted as the only locations where holders can access contract rates and set up new secure wallets, as traditional banks are expected to take on a significantly diminished role in the new financial ecosystem. As the timeline moves toward mid-April 2026, with exchange appointments expected to begin between April 14th and April 16th, the report paints a picture of a world in the midst of total economic rebirth. While the mainstream financial world remains focused on traditional markets, these updates suggest a parallel revolution in reaching its climax, promising a future of transparency, gold-backed security, and individual prosperity. That does it. That's a lot said. And yes, I started a minute and something late because I was not realizing we was on, but I went over an hour and 3 by the time I say prayer to be an hour and 4. Guys, I want to take, and ladies, I want to take the time. Larry Smith and Janet and Tony and Kevin and David and Bill Woods, all of you, everyone is here tonight. There's 108 people on this show tonight. For a lot of people, they wouldn't even start a show with 108. With me, I feel fortunate that you guys love me and love Ron enough to come here and be here 3 nights a week. Everything we say, everything we do is for you. We believe in this system. We will not give in. We will not give up, and we will not surrender. We will not comply. And all we're doing is working towards things. I have said some things tonight about if you have a little money, and please do not take the money if you do not have it. And please remember, I am not a financial advisor. I'm just telling you, there is money to be made. But in truth, if you say no, it's okay, because you're going to get so much money. And even if you don't, with what me and Ron's going to get, will help everyone. Whether or not, pardon me?
We heard that you could only sign it. You only have to sign a
Ron is telling me that
if you
people
have-
only have to have an NDA if you have Zim. So it doesn't matter. What does it matter if I have to sign an NDA? Is it going to stop me from talking? Yes. Is it going to make me put everything away? We'll see. I'm not going to give away my secrets, but all I'm asking is everybody who's here tonight, we've been a family for a long time. I feel that I know you guys as much as I know my real family. My real family that I happen to go. I ate here dinner with Ron. I almost cut my finger off. I thought it was going to bleed to death. But that being said, my real family, I go there. I don't eat one thing. I drink 2 beers only because my brother Russ forced me to drink 2 beers. And I leave and I come home. As I'm leaving, my daughter hands me a Rice Krispie treat. And I said, you had Rice Krispie treats there and they didn't eat them? He said, Dad, they're not very good. I think I ruined them. I said, you can't ruin a Rice Krispie treat. You can't do it. And then I took a bite of it and I said, but you come close. We all laughed. We all laughed. That is the only thing I ate at my family's get together. Nita, that's the only thing I ate there. But yet I've been accused of filling my pockets with candy that was in a jar. I was accused of filling my pockets and stealing it and taking it. I never had one piece of candy. I never ate one thing there. My family, they love me. They love to make fun of me, and that's okay. Even though it don't look like it, I got strong shoulders. And that's what we all have to be, Janet. That's what we all have to be, Kevin and David, John. And when it looks like it's as dark as it can possibly get, it's going to get brighter. It only has to happen one time. One time, and it's about to happen. I'm going to leave you tonight with one last thing. I truthfully believe in my heart that it's about to happen. I'm not saying this to butter you up. I'm not saying this for you to say I'm stupid or whatever, because you can say whatever you want. I'm saying this because I truthfully believe we are about ready to go. That's what I truthfully believe. Dear Lord, as I tell the people how I feel, as I tell the people what I believe in and how I'm doing, I only ask, Lord, that you help us. That my dreams and my goals and everything that I have, it's not about the money, Lord. It's about the health. It's about saving the kids. It's about saving the animals and saving the people who need help. The lady who approached me today about the 10-year-old boy who has cancer, if I could only help him, get him on that bed and let his mother know that I can help him, I'll do it. Lord, we need to get rid of the bad people and bring all the people to your world safe and sound. The people who need your help, Lord, until we get the help that we need, please look after them and take care of them. Look after my whole group, my whole family here, and my whole real family. Look after everyone that's involved and everybody that needs your help. Put an angel on their shoulder as we come to you at the end of this week, talk to you through our Savior, your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen and amen. Good night, everyone. I'll see you Monday night, if not before. Bruce did say one last thing last night. Tuesday night or Thursday night could be a call of celebration. Good night, everyone.